Oh yeah, that is just a smidge down. Don't mind me. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm just adjusting something on the volume. Yeah, the game volume was turned down in my sound mixer. I don't know why. Just about to check that. Anyway, hello. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm going to be finishing up the Gamma Recruit. Well, not really the Gamma Recruit, because there's still a lot more to do with the Gamma Recruit. But I'm going to finish up the Gamma story arc. There's really only 2 parts left to it, so I'll be doing that tonight. And maybe I'll play around, do a few other things to show off in the game here. Anyway, let's get into it. It has been
Welcome to
a few days.
You're cleared for docking. We have everything you need for shore leave, and a few things that you didn't even know you wanted. Shopping, drinking, dining, entertainment. You'll find it all here.
You'll find it all here.
Forget the 77th rule of acquisition. If you break it, I'll charge you for it.
I'll charge you for it. Yes, we're at Drozana Station. You get this spiel every time you come to Drozana Station. Every time. Anyway, what I was gonna say, it's been like past few days have been a little crazy. I didn't stream yesterday on Monday because I felt like crap because I didn't sleep at all Sunday night. And today we had family emergency stuff happening and I wasn't sure if I was even gonna stream tonight, but everything kind of worked out, so here I am. So we're gonna finish this up. Anyway, first things first, as you can see, I have a different ship than I had last time. I'm not using the bug ship anymore. I have moved on to other vessels now. So this is the Hur'q Alliance character. I actually got this a while ago during the anniversary event here, and I put the Jem'Hadar stuff on here and sort of themed it up to be Jem'Hadar. I've set this thing up to be... I've never really tried to make a build like this before, but I tried to make a science torpedo ship out of this, so it's probably not optimized very well, but it kind of works right now. It kind of works. The whole idea behind this thing is that I use my little fighters to do most of the attacking damage, because they have the beams. My ship just has torpedoes and mines on it. And I don't even really use those that often because I had this thing set up to use mostly Gravity Well and Tychon's Rift, as well as some of these other abilities to really just do mass damage to enemies. Because a lot of these skills will go through the shields, and that's kind of what I've been doing. I also have the Dispersing Nanoprobe Assimilator on the ship. I got this. This was a special event item. I think it was like about a month ago. I haven't really used it all that much, but I have been using it on this here. It is kind of neat. It creates a big area of effect attack with the possibility of assimilating ships that get killed by it, so it's an interesting weapon. Need to say less. We'll probably see some of it tonight. Anyway, I'll be using this to kind of finish up here, and naturally this thing is named the Sanctuary 7. I actually got several other ships too. Just my collection of tier 6 C-store ships that I have, and I just got those. Pull this up here. This is what I have on it right now. I got the Gamma Core. I stuck that on here. You can see I got mines, torpedoes. I got one torpedo in the rear, which doesn't really do much, but it's there. The same comes with the Alliance fighters, which are pretty decent fighters. I've been pretty good with them. I got some other stuff on here. I've been trying to get some stuff from the Reputation system, but it's a little bit slow going. I have the Ordnance Accelerator. I have the Assimilated Module. Those are both pretty good consoles to get. And I don't think I got anything else. I mean, yeah, obviously I got the Gamma Core. It's good. And I've already got this thing mastered and maxed out, so backup shield batteries are on there and everything, so... Reputation. I've been running random TFOs to get bonus marks, which is probably the most efficient way to get marks. And It lets me work towards getting stuff for the Gamma Recruit rewards going to. Oh, that's the thing. I thought it was... Oh, tier 2 reputation. I clicked the wrong thing. That doesn't matter. I need some more of those things anyway. when I have like excess marks, I make sure to get the premium marks, because I need the premium marks in order to get the good gear out of this thing anyway. So I make sure to get all this going. And this is all what do you call it? Dailies. Stuff I gotta do daily on this thing. So this. I mean, this is sort of an illustration of the sort of thing you're probably going to spend most of the time doing in STO, is stuff like this. Just clicking buttons, click buttons, click buttons, click buttons. More buttons, I'm going to click buttons. I guess while I'm doing all this, I'll talk about the big news today. Obviously, most people in the gaming world are aware of the Xenoblade Chronicles games and series. The third game has actually been pushed up in release date, so it's going to be coming out in July now, which is actually kind of surprising. It's a nice surprise. So, a lot more information got revealed about it. There's a new trailer for it. Got to see some gameplay finally. I won't know for certain until I actually get the game in hand and be able to play it, but it looks about what I expect from the Xenoblade Chronicles games. Looks like they did improve the UI a little bit here, a little bit in it, from what I've seen. Because one of the complaints I had about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is that the UI was just kind of... There was too much going on in the UI in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that it actually was a detriment. Where you can't really just watch the battle unfold, you gotta keep paying attention to stuff on the UI prompts all the time. Because there's timers, there's bars filling, there's stuff you gotta do quick time presses on and stuff like that, and there's like 12 different systems going on the UI you gotta keep track of all the time, and because of that, you're not, as a player, you're not really watching the battle unfold, you're just watching the UI for prompts on when to do things, so it's... I felt like I didn't see as many timers or build-up bars on the new UI, so maybe they've alleviated some of that. So more of it you can react to visually as you're watching the battle unfold instead of having to pay attention to the UI, which, if that is the case, that would be an improvement. I would prefer that. So, but again, until I actually get the game in hand and play it, I'm not 100% certain on that, but it looks that way. The other big thing is that they're introducing this fusion system. And I made a mention on Twitter that, wow, this reminds me of the fusion system from Breath of Fire 2. I don't know if anybody... That's for like really old school gamers. But there was a system in Breath of Fire 2 where you could fuse your characters together to create this sort of super character. And you could have different combinations of characters come fused together, create better versions of characters and stuff. It was a neat little system. It's not quite what they're doing in Xenoblade 3. It looks like it's only going to be certain characters that can pair up and fuse, at least from what I've seen so far. Maybe other characters can join and make different combinations of whatever these things are. I don't know what they're called yet. They look like biological mechs to me. I've seen people compare them to Evangelions. I think they kind of remind me of the Guyver, which is like this bio-mech suit that manga from like the 90s. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that. And obviously a lot of the designs for these new mechs are heavily influenced and borrowing elements from Xenogears and Xenosaga. A lot of people have already pointed a lot of this stuff out already, that Noah and Mio's combined form is basically looks like the Weltao from Xenogears. The one that Taion and Uni form into really borrows a lot from the Xenosaga ES mechs as well as Cosmos and Tails. I also saw somebody show there was that the alternate form of Elma also has some of those elements too, but the thing is, Elma's alternate form was supposed to be based on Cosmos from Xenosaga anyway, so it has those design elements in it anyway, but somebody pointed that out too, so. Speaking of Xenoblade Chronicles X, I haven't seen any sign of anything referencing Xenoblade Chronicles X so far in the trailer, so I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen there. Maybe Elma will show up as a bonus character or something, like they did in Xenoblade 2. But, needless to say, it's all pretty interesting. Got a few new characters they showed off. And apparently you can have all 6 characters, or actually 8 characters in battle at once, because the 2 Nopom characters seem to form one unit. They form like a 7th unit in battle, so I guess technically we have 7 units, or 8, I don't know, depending on how you look at it, in battle. And I'm assuming you can switch control between them. It looks like there are certain spots in the battle where you can change control to a different character, so it's not fixed to one character. I think we could. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, in Torna you could swap between the driver and the blade. So maybe they'll do something like that, where you can like Noah and Mio are kind of paired up. So maybe it'll be possible to swap between them in battle. So maybe they'll have something like that, but. Again, this is just from what I've seen, so I'm not going to know for certain until I actually get the game in hand, which will be this summer. So yeah, it's all looking up. It's all looking pretty interesting. Grab another one of these. I've been trying to accumulate gamma marks here because I want to get some more of the gamma stuff. But I've kind of gotten what I can for the moment on this. Like I got the core, and I got the Origins Accelerator, which is kind of one thing I can get right now. I still gotta work this up some more before I can get the shield and the impulse engine and the deflector, so to round out the set here. I decided I'm gonna try to build up new Task Force Omega to level 6. Because I have to build one of these things up to level 6, so I'm gonna start working on a new car for that, so I can get the experimental upgrade token for that. So, that's that. Sure my traits have not been messed with here. I have this one. Yeah, go ahead and use that. Backup shield batteries. I got emergency weapon cycle off of my Arbiter, but honestly, it doesn't serve any purpose on this build here because I don't have any beam weapons on here. So I changed up my traits to kind of focus on projectile and exotic damage. That's kind of what I've been doing here. So I haven't really maxed out too much on there. I maxed out the upgraded the core to 15, but I did upgrade all the stuff on my, except for the kit here. I upgraded the armor, shield, weapon, and I put the Sunkansi sword on here also because it looks kind of neat on him. This is all upgraded to 15. I gave him the Shattering Harmonics environmental suit from the new car reputation since I was able to get one of these. This is probably the better environmental suit from that reputation because this has a 40% crit severity on it, so it's not bad. Probably the better. There's like 3 different EV suits you can get from the reputation. I think this is probably the better one. And I got EV suits for everybody on here because I think the next mission I need to have EV suits for. Yeah, I do need EV suits for the next mission because there's parts where you got to kind of fly and stuff. So, let's see what else here. Stole some stuff I don't need. Get rid of those. You know, it's a little bug that this game has where I still get a notification for the mail, even though I don't have any mail. I have to kind of click this thing twice to make the notification go away. Weird. I do have some more duty officers now, so I have some that can do research now for me. I can start working on building this up. I've been working on Admiralty. Again, this is all daily stuff. And duty officers. Bridge officer assistance. Not now. I'm pretty good on bridge officers, so what I usually do with bridge officers now is I just kind of turn them into manuals. And either I will use the manual or I will sell it. And all this wonderful loot I'm getting. Actually, I got a better Chronotron torpedo from that too. Let's see, what can we get from you? A Tychon's Rift 3, or Hyperonic Radiation. I can actually sell that. It's actually a pretty good manual to have. Let's see. My inventory is still kind of cramped right now, so I'm going to sell most of this stuff. Warning cues, torpedo. I actually might use that. Get rid of the piezo. I want to make sure I don't load up on too many weapons here. I have like one weapon for each energy type, just for doing endeavors. So I have like one disruptor, I got one phaser, I got one polar. Actually, I don't even need the polaron. I have a plasma. I have an anti-proton weapon. I have a tetron weapon. Actually, I don't. I have two disruptors. Get rid of pulse wave. I don't like pulse wave weapons. They're supposed to be like beam shotguns, but they kind of suck. And I don't use these things ever, so I'm gonna get rid of that. This I don't need. Get rid of that. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch that to a quantum torpedo, because I have boost for quantum torpedoes on here, not for Chronoton torpedo, which I might put on something else. Alrighty. Yeah, I think we're probably good to go here. I'll do the rest of the daily stuff later. Don't want to get bogged down here too much, so we need to do Tenebris Torquent tonight. So let's go ahead and get there. In my new, very big ship. Very slow-moving ship. But that's okay. My fighters do most of the fighting for me in this thing, so begin.
I have to say, the survey reports on this system really don't do it justice. The nebula, the pulsar, dark energy, and the Hur'q homeworld.
I'm not reading any Hur'q ships on sensors.
Nor I. Isn't that strange? One would think they'd place a heavy guard on their home system. How peculiar. Let's use this opportunity to look around. Quietly, of course.
Agreed.
We're reading a number of interesting phenomena, despite interference from the nebula. Let's see. Plethora of heavy metallic compounds. A hotbed of tetryon and thermobaric energy throughout the nebula. A fitting birthplace for a future star.
There's a moon nearby. Preliminary scans aren't showing much, but it's just the kind of place the Hur'q could be using to hide a base. Or a fleet. I'd like to take a closer look.
Let's move in.
The pulsar's throwing off a lot of hazardous energy.
Most astute, Captain. Let's make the appropriate shield adjustments.
Scans are showing a lot of bare rock, but no metals or compounds. It's a lot like...
Like it's being completely stripped of anything remotely useful? The calling card of the Hur'q, if I'm not mistaken. Perhaps we should send down a probe, just to be absolutely sure. There could be some Hur'q down there, hidden by the nebula's effect on our senses.
I'll send the probe then.
It's barely Class D. No metals, complex compounds, liquids, or atmosphere.
The interior is a complex maze of tunnels. Thousands of them.
This matches Hur'q patterns we've seen elsewhere. They've been here.
The probe is online transmitting. Our science teams are taking a close look at the incoming data. It doesn't look terribly promising. Shall we forge on? There's a lovely planet nearby, no doubt filled with a bounty of toxic rocks and metallic solvents.
Set course for the planet. To speed it up here.
Entering scanning range now.
Its astronomic readings are strange. The planet has a highly eccentric orbit. Looks like it collects matter from the nebula as it sweeps around the pulsar, all while being bombarded with radiation. Definitely not habitable by most standards, though it's not quite demon class.
Demon class worlds are like really like severely uninhabitable and unfriendly to life worlds. I think they first got introduced in Voyager because I never heard the term before that. Where there was like one episode about the demon world in Voyager where I think it was like Harry Kim and I think it was Tom Paris, I think. They went down to the world and duplicates of them got sent back to Voyager. And it took them a while to realize they got swapped or something like that. And of course this planet kept these duplicate people, duplicate versions of the Voyager crew on that planet the entire time. I think they showed up again later, towards the end of the season, end of the show, I think. Anyway, that was a demon class thing.
An orbital period of several thousand years. That explains the Hur'q life cycle. They must hibernate while the planet is at the far range of its orbit. This orbit coincides with the previous emergencies of the Hur'q. The 1,000-year cycle explains why they appear suddenly, then vanish just as quickly.
We're reading complex structures here, along with power systems and technology. This could be a base of operations for the Hur'q. It appears to be deserted. Why don't we take a look around? This could be a prime opportunity.
Let's meet on the Defiant. We'll need to make some preparations before we send an away team down there.
Okay.
I've sent a team down to establish a secure zone. They're ready for you, but you'll want to put on an EV suit before you beam down. Once you're suited up, we'll beam you down to the secure zone. It's just below the planet's surface in a large cavern area.
Yep. Look at my stylish EV suit. Everybody else has boring green, but I have a big white suit. There we go. Yeah, it has a little bit of a different appearance from the standard one. Alright, there we go. This chamber appears to be a natural cavern. The readings show unusual energy and a lot of magnetized metals and salts not far from here. Some of the caves near here have a regular structure, like they were dug out rather than naturally occurring. Maybe the Hur'q have something like an ant hive. Let's check with Kira's away team and see how they're progressing. Also, I can turn my light on. You can see a little better.
I should have a habitation area set up soon. We can replace the reducing atmosphere in this cavern with standard oxy-nitro and warm things up a bit. Kane's keeping watch, and Weir is looking into other connected areas. We should have a perimeter field up within a few minutes.
Carry on, Williams.
lot of background radiation and some wild magnetic fields. It's like the pulsar and the nebula are supercharging the metallic crystal compounds here. The environment's very different from anything we consider a habitable planet. Explains why the Hur'q are so alien. Quite a treasure for a geologist like myself.
Carry on, Ishimura. I'm gonna grab this uranium ore here.
Everything's in order here. Define, do you still have a lock on us?
Affirmative. If you need transport, there may be a slight delay due to pulsar emissions.
I'm getting something odd on my tricorder. Up there!
Falling. This is STO's attempt at trying to be like a horror game. Don't worry, viewers, I can't really see anything either. And you know, my idiot self took his EV suit off somehow in the cutscene.
Glad you're still with us. Whatever that was must have left you for dead. I'd get moving in case it comes back to make sure. Looks like you're in a series of tunnels that connect to a larger cavern. Garrick and Bashir are close to your position. They're moving into a large open chamber. Try to make your way to them. Be careful. Some of the crystal formations down there are emitting intense amounts of energy. We can't lock onto anyone with transporters, and the others are reporting the directed energy weapons won't work.
Okay.
This is Bashir. Garrick and I are alive, but we're a little lost.
Into the darkness we go.
Keep moving. You should head up to another chamber. The creature's in a passage near your location. Stay sharp.
Garrick and I are moving into a very large, oblong chamber.
And here I was, hoping those cozy, cramped little tunnels would make a...
Looks like the door to the next chamber is locked.
Trying to get to this thing here. I want it.
Those readings you're getting from that crystal node are interesting. It's generating a localized magnetic field. Manipulating that field could cause a response similar to pushing a button or flicking a switch. I wonder, do you think Hur'q can sense magnetic fields similar to sharks on Earth?
Let's stay on point, Doctor.
Yes, of course. I think you'll find a way to manipulate that magnetic field to open the door. The morphogenic crystals are probably the keys. So look for one nearby that has a similar output to the door node.
Alright, now you'll scan some crystals. These ones.
The readings I'm getting on that crystal are weak. It probably isn't usable. That one's got an odd harmonic. Doesn't seem to match the rest.
I'm pretty sure you have to check all three of them There's no like correct one. You have to check all three. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they get the same messages no matter which ones I pick.
Use it to open that door.
Bang the tricorder. Put your suit back on, dude. Okay. I hate how the cutscene takes my suit off. This guy's invincible, so
a deep crevice ahead
there's
of you.
no
See
point
if you
trying
can
to
get
fight
across.
him. See, we have a jumping puzzle here. Oh, that was a...
You can't fight that thing. Run!
I fell. Whoops. I wasn't running. Try again. Okay, run. Trying to talk and do this at the same time, I forgot to run. There.
Hazardous energy and anti-gravity ahead. Use your thrusters.
Alright, now we got the zero-G part.
Creatures turn back. Must not like anti-gravity.
Yeah, this place is a little bit of a maze. But it's actually not that terribly hard to get through. Wait, did I get turned around? I did, didn't I? Yeah, I got her down.
Slow and steady, don't get lost. Try to head up when you can.
This works the same way as that. Actually, no, we didn't even show that part on the stream.
Garrick and I have a breathable atmosphere here. Everyone, try and reach our location.
Williams here. I'm stuck in some kind of tunnel maze. Not sure how to get out.
Ishimura here. My nav system's useless. I'll keep trying to find you all.
Yeah, the way this zero-G controls in this game work is kind of unintuitive.
Interesting. None of their starships had weapons until 2,000 years ago. Their first designs were way ahead of most species at that time, though. Huh. How did they go from geniuses to the ravenous eating machines we're dealing with now?
Alright, so as I was saying, the controls for zero-G are very unintuitive in this game. I kind of wish they were done better, but you can use your arrow keys to kind of move back and forth and turn. But in order to go up or down, you have to kind of be looking up. And if you want to go down, you have to kind of look down. It's not like... And the thing is, you can also press the spacebar to go up too, so... And you can't... Since you can't really use crouch to move down, you have to look down, so that's kind of one issue with this. If I could use the crouch key to go down, that would be a lot... That would feel a little bit more natural. Since you can use space to go up, but... I don't know, the designers didn't really think to do it that way, I don't know why. That's just something you gotta remember. Or just...
Kane, report. I just lost crewman Kane's vitals. Weir's comm signal is down, but he's still alive. Keep an eye out.
There's the door that opens, you gotta get through it. And now we gotta go up. Whoop. Door. Oh, there it is. Get through the door. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Okay, I thought I was stuck for a moment. Believe it or not, yes, it is very possible to get stuck inside walls and objects. This happened to me so many times. So many times in this game. There we go. Any through? Ow. This way.
Bashir and Garrick are just past this chamber. We're picking up some interesting tech on sensors. Interesting and old. Very old. Most of it predates the Federation by several centuries. Are you reading those energy patterns on the other side of that opening? They're far more intricate than the others we've seen. We think there's some kind of ship ahead of you. It shows signs of damage. You might be in some sort of dry dock or repair facility. Interesting. There are large gaps in tech level between each section of the facility. It's as if the Hur'q learn as they hibernate. They wake up with 1,000 years of advancements at hand and get ready to work.
Console looks like it can operate a door here, which I'm going to do now. And then I think, wasn't this the plot of Prometheus in Alien? It's like, abandoned alien ship on a mysterious world. Let's investigate it. Nothing could possibly go wrong. There's one of my people. Good to see you, sir. I set up a safe area. We've got a safe area set up here.
A pleasure to see you. We'll need all the help we can get if we're to leave this world alive. To that end, the good doctor and I have started to make sense of our surroundings. We seem to be in some sort of Hur'q command center. From here, we can begin to restore power in critical systems.
Hur'q technology is driven by electromagnetic manipulation of morphogenic crystals. Doors, life support, everything, even their central computer. If we can find the right crystals, I can bring things back online. We can look for information on Hur'q biology within their data system. We might even find a cure here. I found a little information. This planet used to be rich in a type of fungus. It thrived in the harshest of environments, even areas high in pulsar radiation. It used to be a staple of the Hur'q diet until it disappeared from the ecosystem. Without it, the Hur'q began to suffer from a severe type of malnutrition. It led to a number of neurological disorders, many of which we've seen firsthand. Based on these readings, there should be more data storage units in the tunnels beyond this chamber. They're the ones by the door with the blue glow rods. One more thing. Some parts of the tunnel still have malfunctioning gravity systems. You should be able to navigate through them, but the energy fields in there will nullify your weapons, so be careful.
I'll get you those storage crystals. I'm a Jem'Hadar who gets things done. We gotta find these 3 crystal things. They're kind of scattered around this area. Let's see, one of them will be in here. Where Hur'q is. Hur'q.
Oh, good. You made it. We were about to leave when...
Goodbye, Ishmael.
No!
What's going on? Ishimura's vitals just flatlined.
Suit. Monster. This dude is like still invincible. If you go in here, he can't get you.
It moved away from you and shrouded itself.
Send your officer to me so that I can address any injuries.
Get out of here. Don't get stuck in a wall. He might get stuck on a wall.
That covers the first peaceful meeting between the Hur'q and the Founders over 3,000 years ago.
Anti-gravity. Just echo. Get up, man. It's no time to take a nap. Nope. Hey, get in here.
It moved away from you and shrouded itself.
Send your officer to me so that I can address any injuries.
Let's see. This is where it came from, right? Yeah. I know one of these is up in the ceiling. Yep, found
One
it.
of your officers has arrived here.
Cool.
My god. The enzyme the Hur'q need is a precursor to Ketracel.
Yeah.
Enemy target on desert.
Go away.
It moved away from you and shrouded itself.
Yes, thank you for telling me that again, Kira. It moved away and shrouded itself. Bones. It's bones. I thought one of the crewmen's remains were supposed to be up here. I guess not.
One of your officers has arrived here.
There's Rem.
You're a sight for sore eyes.
Goodbye.
Let's get out of here before...
William!
No more Williams.
Send your officer to me so that I can address any injuries.
Aha, you didn't get to say it that time, Kira. But there's central area now.
The Hur'q tried to synthesize the enzyme they needed for cognition, but failed.
Alright, if we go back up there now, I'm pretty sure we should find William's body. I did that a little bit out of order. That's why I wasn't up there. Hey, Rem, you're stuck on a wall. Exactly what I warned you people about. Being stuck on walls. That's the way back. This way? I already got lost. Oh, there's something here. What's this?
That's Kane's helmet. I have a feeling we won't find the rest of him.
Oh. Rem, you moron. You weren't the brightest one from the vat, were you? Not the brightest one from the vat.
One of your officers has arrived here.
Somehow he made it here. Ah, there he is. Williams. Game over, man. Game over. Game over, man. I think that's how it's supposed to go. Alright, we can go ahead and head back now. Go this one.
Nicely done. We should be able to translate Hur'q data files and run a detailed analysis of them at a greatly accelerated rate now. I have a good friend in Starfleet engineering that would love to spend some time with this technology. The Hur'q have made some remarkable advances in their time. Ah, the first results are in. Excellent. I have access to a few critical systems, including gravity and power generation. Bringing them online now. That should make things go a little smoother.
Indeed.
I'm getting some historical records now. Give me a moment to process it. Well, this is not good. It's a record of the fall of the Hur'q civilization at the hands of the Dominion. For some reason, the Dominion removed the fungus from the ecosystem during the Hur'q hibernation cycle. Military conquest, most likely. This is what drove the Hur'q to madness.
It appears we have some uninvited guests.
Yeah, that's Zenkepi guest.
You're a long way from Zenketh, Admiral.
Yes. To what do we owe the pleasure?
Oh, you're not a Zenketh.
Ah, traveling incognito?
One of her many covert identities, I suspect.
This expedition of yours has gone on long enough.
Touched a nerve, have we?
You found a secret I've kept for millennia. Something I've kept from Odo and the Great Link.
The origin of the Hur'q infestation.
And your role in it.
I needed soldiers to realize my dream of dominion. Enforcers willing to obey without question. Physically, the Hur'q were perfect candidates. But their peaceful, free-thinking nature was an obstacle. in studying the Hur'q biology. I found the key to their loyalty.
The Ketracel precursor?
Yes, I extracted it from their ecosystem. They had no choice. Obey or die.
I take it things didn't go according to plan.
No. They became savage, incoherent, volatile. With each cycle, the swarm grew larger, wilder. My ability to control them diminished. All I could do was point them in the direction of my enemies. I would let them rampage and await their eventual hibernation.
Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war.
They were a failure, but they provided a gift. Ketracel, the gift that led to a more successful endeavor. The Jem'Hadar.
I think I've heard enough. I knew you were involved in this somehow. You built an empire on slavery, and now it's all falling apart. When the Alliance learns about this...
But they won't. None of you are leaving this world alive.
You would kill another founder?
There were other founders who knew the truth once, like you. They did not want a dominion built on the backs of slaves. They tried to depose me, to expose the truth to the link. They failed, and paid for their lack of vision.
All of you, against the wall.
Odo, this is getting out of hand.
Stop this, now!
No, Odo. This is bigger than you. Bigger than us. The Dominion must endure.
I'm afraid I can't allow that.
What now?
You've forced my hand. This is a modification of your own Hur'q lure. As we speak, every Hur'q in the Quadrant is homing in on the signal.
And you're calling them here? To their homeworld?
On the contrary, madam. I'm calling them to the Founder homeworld. Your chickens, as the humans say, are coming home to roost.
Quite a lot of chickens.
Insanity! We will...
That's how you kill a changeling. A Hur'q. Or a crystallized Hur'q. That's kind of crazy. Did you trip? Oh, because the enemy's right there. Cannot move. Is that it? Oh, there it is. It moved away and shrouded itself. Not this time. Resistance is futile. I don't think so.
Now that we have restored operations here, our ships will be able to lock onto us with transporters. I suggest we take advantage of this while we can.
Yes, let's beam up. But resistance is not futile.
You did this? All of you?
As you would say.
You killed a god? My god?
My god.
Found. Gone forever. I loved her so. Now you'll pay the price. Guards!
Enough, Wayoon. All of you stand down.
No! You betrayed her! And the Dominion! I will carry out her final order!
That founder is no more, Wayoon. This founder has given you an order, and you will obey.
No! He is no founder. She was a founder. He is a traitor! Guards! Shoot to kill! All of them!
Belay that order.
What?
We do not serve you, Forta. Where this founder leads, we will follow.
Thank you, my friend.
Fine. Then I'll do it myself.
No, you won't. We'll just replace you.
Take Weyoun into custody and return to your ship. We have business at the homeworld to attend to.
We have plenty more Weyouns. Maybe Weyoun number 16 is waiting. Ah, yes. Just as I thought. I don't know what, but just as I thought. They're made of Ketracel. Changelings are made of Ketracel. No, that's wrong.
Tell me, was it part of your plan to draw every Hur'q in the sector to this system, Garrick? Because if it was, it worked with flying colors. We need to get out of here and fast. Our only hope is to punch a hole through the swarm so we can go to warp.
Launch fighters.
Try to hold them off. See if I can arrange.
We can do that. I keep pumping out more fighters. Funnels go. Oh, big hooks on that.
They're breaking off. They've received a signal. They're heading for the founder.
And they're gone.
Right shield's failing.
I think we're in the clear. The Hur'q have departed for the Founder homeworld. It will take them some time to reach it, even at maximum warp. We should make the most of that time and bring an end to this madness. The information that the good doctor found should do just that. For now, let's return to our respective fleets and prepare for the next and hopefully final steps of this journey.
The final battle.
The war between our gods, our founders, has thrown many of the Jem'Hadar into disarray. Our duty, of course, is to keep the Dominion secure. The revelations from the Hur'q homeworld tell of how the Dominion engaged in treachery and cruelty. This is not uncommon. But to try to hide it shows that they are ashamed of it. Now, we must settle this. The lives given millennia ago must not be lost without cause. Within me, within us, flows the remnants of that betrayal. If it can undo what has been done, perhaps we can repair the damage done to the Dominion, both by the Hur'q and by itself.
The Dominion must endure, Elder.
Thanks to Garrick, my homeworld is under siege. I realize there's not a lot of love lost to the Founders these days, but if the center of the Dominion falls to the Hur'q, the rest of the galaxy will soon follow suit. If you're willing to stand with us one last time, assemble your forces and rendezvous with my fleet in the Gamma Quadrant. I hope to see you there before it's too late for all of us.
Depart. To be continued.
There's a certain poetic symmetry at play here. The Dominion are about to receive their comeuppance from one of the many species they've abused. Regrettably, we Cardassians have some experience in such matters. Of course, our work is just beginning. We need to formulate a cure for the Hur'q before they devastate every system in the quadrant. Hopefully, we can achieve this lofty goal before they make a meal of the Dominion. And again, science is often a lengthy, perilous process. I'm certainly glad to put Havas Kul behind me. Small, dark passages are not a passion of mine.
Don't they give you any good rewards here? A regular Polaron beam array, which I got plenty of now. A blast assault weapon, which I don't like. And a flare. Which, in my other playthroughs, I have never once used. So I guess I'll take the flare. I don't know, nothing else there is good. We are the Borg! But it says you're Romulan. Can't be both. Okay. Duty officer. I got one endeavor. Reroll token. Yay, and money. Let's see how my setup is right now. I think we're pretty good. We can probably just go to the last mission. Let me go ahead and switch it on because I turned off the auto hail. It was getting annoying.
The homeworld of the Founders is under attack by the Hur'q. This is our darkest hour. If Empersa falls, the Dominion will come to an end. I'm asking you to join in the defense efforts as soon as you can. A task force will assemble at my fleet's location in the Gamma Quadrant and warp to Empersa from there. Remember, if we fall, the Alpha Quadrant is next. It's time to make a stand. I hope you'll join in the fight.
I hope you'll join the good fight. I guess you get some good rewards from this mission. The waveform beacon is pretty nice. It summons your own Hur'q forces to fight. Pretty good. The morphogenic set's pretty good for Polaron stuff. It took me a while to figure out where this was a turret or an Omni, but this is actually a turret, I think. And you get the Polaron torpedo. And a console. It's all pretty good stuff here.
If you'll excuse me.
If you'll excuse me, I'm waiting. Okay, this mission can be a giant clusterfuck, but it's a lot of fighting, as you might expect. Anyway, we're already here. Not getting the prompt for this. Whoop, backwards. Actually, this is something I never really thought about. Can starships go into warp and reverse? I don't see any reason why they couldn't.
Previously on Star Trek Online, the Dominion, as you know it, is on the verge of collapse. Without your help, the Hur'q will win the war of attrition.
What's happening?
Yes, Garrick, I found your mysterious widget. What is it exactly? It
It's not Kremen tech.
I found a similar device on Bejor.
These devices called the Hur'q, and we put them there. The other founders are hiding things from me.
Odo, look out!
Hold your fire. I think it's trying to communicate.
We can't hold off the Hur'q forever.
Alliance forces are spread too thin to help, Hur'q.
We need the Klingons, brother. Otherwise we're doomed.
Sword of Kahless, as promised.
Once again, the House of Hur'q delivers. Martok will be pleased.
You found a secret I've kept for millennia.
The origin of the Hur'q infestation.
And you're rolling it.
The Dominion must endure.
I'm afraid I can't allow that. As we speak, every Hur'q in the Quadrant is homing in on the signal.
And now the conclusion. I arrived here ahead of you, and I've already engaged the Hur'q near the planet. You've made your point, Garruk. Deactivate the Hur'q lure device you placed on the homeworld before this gets out of hand.
Agreed. Bring an end to this now.
I'm afraid that's the problem, Ambassador. I deactivated it several minutes ago.
It's like, what good is a trap if you can't turn it off? Excuse me?
Then why are the Hur'q still attacking? Don't play games with me here, Garruk. I'm warning you.
Counselor?
Perhaps they're still attacking due to a deep hatred of your people. After all, the Founders are directly responsible for their state of mind, body, and soul. I can't say I blame them for...
Gentlemen.
Enough! Both of you. We don't have time for this. There's bigger problems to deal with here, starting with that swarm of Hur'q vessels nearby.
Captain makes a good point. I'd rather just get to fighting and killing.
Agreed. My fleet is already engaged near the planet, but Hur'q reinforcements keep arriving. Try to punch through the swarms so we can join up.
Very well. Helm, take us in.
We may be needing your solution to this problem soon. Yes, it's yours, failed. Spectacular rational. Some might argue it succeeded.
War.
This is the Chimera. We're here to help.
The CSS Steadfast stands ready to assist you as well.
Here comes Starfleet. Hey, I got a bunch of assimilated Hur'q ship with me now. Come, my new friends. Oh, are they blowing up?
My ship won't last much longer. We need to deal with the swarm attacking it immediately.
Your wave of Hur'q is coming, sir. Okay. crush them. Kill them with that. Because they end up punching up behind me. There we go. Explosions. Explosions work surprisingly well. You got them all.
Well done. The ship's taken heavy damage, but she'll survive.
We bought ourselves some time. Let's hope it's enough. Julian, is your plan ready? It may be our best hope to end things now.
It's as ready as possible, Captain. The challenge of frontier medicine, I'm afraid, is that there is never enough time. I've created a program that will enable the Hur'q to synthesize the compound they need to come to their senses. I've also put together a core sample of the compound that they can utilize in mass production. That is the easy part.
And the hard part? What do you need to make this happen?
From what we've learned about the Hur'q, the best way to make this happen would be to enter the data into one of their core computer systems. It'll need to be a command-level system with fleet-wide override authority. Systems of that kind are only found on Hur'q dreadnoughts.
The best defender ship in their fleet. I can probably kill with damage over time pretty quick.
There's a Hur'q dreadnought heading toward the planet as we speak. It's slow, so we should be able to intercept it. I recommend we engage that ship and disable it, if possible. We'll need to get a team on board to carry out Julian's plan.
Agreed. Let's make it happen. Don't delay. There. Stuff to it.
We did it. The dreadnought's disabled. That ship is still crawling with Hur'q. Make sure your away teams are ready for a fight.
Understood.
I'll send some of my best. Duke and Rex will lead a Jem'Hadar away team, while Loris will assist Dr. Bashir.
Very well.
Right. Let's get the away teams on that dreadnought before it calls for backup.
Agreed.
Loris and I have all we need. We're ready to beam over when you are.
Alright. Let's go kill some Hur'q. Lots and lots of Hur'q. You probably kill like probably 500 Hur'q in this mission. There's like so many. The space part's actually pretty easy. When you get down to the ground battles, you can get like overwhelmed. What am I kidding? It's not that hard. It's not that bad, I'm exaggerating. Or am I?
We'll need to find their central computer core. Once we're there, I'll begin the override process that will allow us to transmit our data on the cure. When that's done, we can instruct each ship in their fleet to replicate the cure and distribute it to every Hur'q on board. Of course, we need to reach the command center in one piece to do so.
We'll clear it away. This is what we do.
Enemy life signs ahead. Get ready to fight.
Kill the bugs. Come on, let me get in there. Kill. Bugs. Bugs. Bugs everywhere. Huh, we got them all. Okay. I'm missing one of my dudes. Oh, it's back here. Get up, Echo. This is like no time to take a nap. Get your lazy ass up. There's something down this way. Bug. More bugs to exterminate.
Unpleasant news, I'm afraid. Hur'q security systems have sent an automated distress signal throughout the fleet. I recommend haste. We're going to have a great number of hostile guests. And far sooner than we'd like.
We better hurry then. But first let me scan this gas. Look at Loris cowering in the corner here. Like, no, I'm afraid. Two of my dudes are down. Sleeping on the job. Where are they? Exo, again, you're sleeping on the job. Get up. Time out. Get your lazy ass up. Okay. You may think we're done, but we're not. There's a lot more coming.
Excellent work. It's time for Loris and I to finish this. Keep your weapons handy, however. We're breaking into a secure computer system here. The Hur'q are bound to take offense. Keep them busy while we do our work, or this will be a wasted trip.
You'll have the time you need. We'll keep them busy. They'll be keeping me busy, too.
One goes here, that one goes there!
I was saving time by inverting the feed now instead of later. I wouldn't even be in Starfleet anymore if it weren't for this Hur'q nonsense.
Running out of time, Doctor!
Perhaps you know a faster way to translate Hur'q language and reverse engineer their technology.
Alright, that's it. Lots of bugs killed.
Almost ready here. The system needs the physical samples of the cure for final analysis and processing. Shall I proceed?
Make it happen, Doctor. The bag is not odor. If the bag dies.
Are you insane, Weyoun? That was our last hope.
How is this possible? You were in prison!
I was liberated by those who still serve the true founders. Not everyone is a traitor to the Dominion, after all.
There is only one traitor here, Weyoun. It's time you paid the price for your treachery.
Pathetic. You can't even kill someone properly. Allow me to instruct you. You! Jem'Hadar! Make yourself useful. Kill them.
You chose the wrong Jem'Hadar, Weyoun.
Open fire! Kill them now!
I think not.
He's gone. He's dead, Jim.
Not a moment too soon.
Bashir to command. Everyone, we have a problem.
Don't worry, there's another Weyoun. Weyoun number 17. Alright. Our job is done. Ready to beam back to the ship on your orders, sir. I'm sure Dr. Bashir will be fine. I think we killed every Hur'q on the ship. But wait, there's more. Oh, loading. There we go.
That Hur'q fleet is about to attack our position. We need to give the doctor the time he needs to transmit data on the cure.
Acknowledged. Red alert. There's a simulated Hur'q. You can't see them. They're gone now. So now we got another simulated ship. A simulated Hur'q ship. Ah, yes. Space magic. More space magic.
Brilliant observation, Quark. What do you want?
Forgive my brother, Odo. We're here to help.
The Ferengi cavalry? I thought I'd seen everything.
Oh, the best is yet to come, Odo. Say hello to my dangerous friends.
My imaginary friends.
Well, Quark, we're waiting.
Rom, where are they?
Lose something? Like your nerve, perhaps?
The Klingons are a little slow.
Long ago, Takuvma, the Unforgettable, lit the beacon of Kahless to restore glory to the Empire. Today, a new torchbearer, Worf, son of Moog, does the same. United, we now go to fight the enemy of our ancestors. Today, we will fight the Hur'q. I now hold the weapon they fear most. The sword of Kahless has been returned to us. Join me now in honorable combat. Show the Hur'q what it truly means to be Klingon. For Kahless, for the Empire, Kapla!
I don't think Michael Dorn got any lines in this. Oh. More simulated ships. Suck up all those swarmers. Suck them up. Keep that thing. Space magic wins the day.
The arrival of the Klingons has given us more time in space, but the situation on the surface is dire. Hur'q's forces are breaking the Jem'Hadar defense lines. We need to do what we can to help. I'm beaming directly to the Great Link to aid my people.
Agreed.
The time has come. The Hur'q mean to ravage everything in their path. We will not allow it. We will stand against them, as Kahless once stood, defiant and proud. Fight well, and if need be, die well. Kapla!
Let's finish this. Once and for all. No. We're in range of the Founder homeworld. First. Transporters are standing by. Are you ready to beam down? Yes. But are you ready? Are you ready for the onslaught?
Whom do we seek? Kahless! How do we find him? Together! Kahless, give us light to see forever! Will he hide from us always? Never!
It's worse than we thought. Most of the Jem'Hadar lines have been broken. Even the Great Link is in danger. I'm going to coordinate our defenses at the Link. Meet me there.
Good luck, Ambassador.
We'll meet you there as soon as we can. And Odo?
Let's go.
The Jem'Hadar have come to our aid. Now, we will return the favor.
Let's hope we're not too late. Let's go kill more bugs. The insects shall die today.
We won't last long out in the open like this.
Odo to Kira. We're fortifying our position near the Great Link.
Understood. We're on our way.
Hello, dude. What are you safe?
Your timing is impeccable. Thank you for your assistance. Enough pleasantries. There are still founders under attack nearby. Go to them and destroy the wretched creatures who would attack our gods. Oh, you are also forbidden to kill yourself if a founder dies in your presence. We need every able body in the fight.
Yes, of course. Wasn't planning on. I think that this Vorta appears much earlier in the game. He's always looked familiar to me. Where's he going? Okay. This is my blade.
There are more friendly life signs nearby. We should do what we can for them. This isn't our new victory. Stay with us. We need everyone to fight the Hur'q.
Oh, understood. I wouldn't want to die. Death is not victory. It is the opposite of victory. I'm a Jem'Hadar. You should know me. I serve the founders. You don't recognize me? Am I that unimportant? I guess I am.
Is this some sort of solid invasion?
Technically, yeah. It is technically correct.
Timing is fortuitous. Solid.
You made it. Good. We're going to need all the help we can get here. It looks like the Hur'q are focusing their attacks on the link. I've called for reinforcements, but most of our lines have been overrun. We're going to make a stand here and hope the Doctor's plan is successful. If not, if we fail, this may be the day the Dominion dies.
Right. We'll make our stand here, now. Here they come.
Please tell me you have more Jem'Hadar to install.
I don't need any more Jem'Hadar, I just need me.
The call's been sent, but they may not arrive in time.
We'll do what we can with what we have, then.
Just...
As always, there'll be a...
Let's just spam
I'm not
abilities
sure I like
here.
the way you said that, Odo.
Nerys, if we don't make it...
No, now is not the time for this discussion.
Look around. There may not be a better...
What is this border doing? Get out of the way.
And I understand what you did.
My dude, what are you doing? Get out of here. You have a death wish?
Yes.
I feel the same.
Dude is down. Oh, no, another one's down. I'm losing my men. Another one's down. Oh, I'm down.
Nerys, are you hurt?
It's just a scratch. I'm fine. We're losing ground here, Odo. Keep fighting.
We can't hold this position much longer.
That's Jem'Hadar, for we're about to die, Doctor. Are you ready?
Not without the Ketracell components needed for the cure.
Ketracell? Yes.
Ketracell. Changelings are made of Ketracell. I should throw... Oh, wait, no. I have Ketracell.
Victory.
Wait! Stop!
Is life.
Yeah, I would have thought like the ship exploded. Yes, it's actually, it is a good line. I know you're bigger than me, but I'm still nice.
It seems the battle is over, but how? What happened up there, Doctor?
I believe Duke Rex realized that his own body contained the Ketracel material I needed to formalize the cure. He extracted what we needed at the cost. Once the Hur'q were able to synthesize the cure, they came to their senses and called for an immediate ceasefire. Their forces are withdrawing as we speak. It's over, Odo. I won't say one, but it's over.
Are you sure? It doesn't sound like it's over. Still a lot of exploding going on. Indeed, and a great cost. First, we received orders from Alliance Command to report to Deep Space Nine as soon as possible for debriefing. Are you ready to return to the Alpha Quadrant? Let's enjoy a merry trip back to DS9. And we get to do the best part of being a Jem'Hadar. Talk to everybody.
There was nothing I could do for him on the Hur'q Dreadnought. The Ketracel extraction process was too devastating. Odo, you treated him like a son when we first found him on DS9, and I'm truly sorry.
He didn't even have a name when he left us. I'll make sure the name he found is never forgotten. I remember his first days on the station. All he wanted to do was fight. Didn't matter who. When he left, I thought I'd never see him again. Or if I did, it'd be as enemies. The man I met years later still knew how to fight, but his reasons for doing so had changed dramatically. I'm proud to have known him. I wish I could have done more in the end.
You made a difference in his life.
I suppose you're right. I believe Captain Kira was looking for you. She was at the Temple of the Prophets last I checked. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to pay my respects. We'll talk more later.
Very well. I'm sorry for your loss, Founder. Get to chit-chat with everybody.
And here we are, once again. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Indeed. What's next for you, Captain?
Funny you should mention that. After we got back, Starfleet Command offered me a number of postings. Even the center chair on one of those shiny new cruisers. Tempting. But I chose to join the command staff here on DS9. Bajor and the Celestial Temple mean a lot to me, and this station is a good place to keep them both safe.
True. It's also close to our mutual friend in the Gamma Quadrant.
Subtle, but you're not wrong.
I don't think that Jem'Hadar
Odo and
would
I
say
have
that.
a lot to work out before we're back to where we were, but we've taken a few good steps in that direction. I think it'll work out. Eventually. He's a hard man to read sometimes.
Also true. Until next time, Captain.
It is good to see you once more. I was hoping we'd have a moment to speak on an important matter before your duties take you back to the stars.
What's on your mind, Eminence?
My thoughts often return to the Orb of Peace. It was no coincidence that it was found in the Gamma Quadrant, in the midst of two warring tribes. I believe it to be a message from the Prophets, one of guidance in troubled times.
I trust your expertise on such matters, as I am a soldier and I know nothing of these things.
Now that the conflict with the Hur'q has ended, I feel it's time to explore this omen more thoroughly. The recent vision experienced by Loris is truly remarkable. That the Prophets would speak to Avorta. Again, this is no coincidence. Simply put, I believe the orb is meant to broker a lasting peace between the people of our quadrants and the Dominion.
I hope you're right, Eminence.
Hello again, my friend. It pleases me to see you. I have interesting news.
I hope it doesn't involve the Hur'q.
Thankfully, no. Rather, it involves the Orb of Peace that you returned with Kaiopaka. It has spoken to me. I've been exploring the meaning of that experience with the Kai and Captain Kira. They are, after all, experts on such matters. While we all find it curious that an Orb of the Prophets would speak to a Vorta, we also agree it would be foolish to ignore it.
What of your service to the Dominion?
With the blessings of Founder Odo, I have been transferred to this quadrant to continue my studies of the Orb and the Prophets. I shall also serve as Founder Odo's representative here. Diplomacy is my specialty, after all. I'm sure we'll be seeing one another again. May the blessings of the Founders and the Prophets be yours.
Glad to hear it. See you around then.
Thank you for coming to visit. After all we've been through, it means a lot to have friends. Even if it reminds me of the ones we miss. Speaking of reunions, I think General Martok is leading the charge against the Bloodwine at Quark's. I'm sure he'd want to congratulate you on another glorious victory. May the Prophets watch over you.
And you, Captain.
We'll be here at DS9 until my ship is repaired. Fortunately, I have exclusive rights to the holosim of the battle. The sales of that alone will cover the cost of repairs, and then some. Some days, it's good to be the Grand Nagus.
I can only imagine.
I don't like to think about how close to disaster we were here. Fortunately, there were people like you out there to bring us all back from the brink. All those adventures. You've got quite a story to tell. That reminds me. Have you ever considered making a holobiography? I think your life story would be quite popular and profitable. I'll make you a very generous offer for the rights and cut you in on a share of the profits, say 25%.
When you do an autobiography of a Jem'Hadar? It can't be that interesting. Interesting offer, but I must decline.
Suit yourself. The offer still stands if you change your mind.
Thank you, Grand Nagus.
Oh, I'm so glad to see this come to an end. But not as glad as everyone back on Ferenginar. It's a celebration of Rule 35 like no one's ever seen before. I mean, peace may be good for business, but things are really getting out of hand.
How so?
When word got out that the Gamma Quadrant was open for business, the new Latinum rush was on. Open borders and free trade policies? My husband was practically weeping with joy. Oh, poor Odo. He thought he had his hands full with Quark on DS9. Now, he's gonna have an entire quadrant full of Ferengi to deal with.
I'm sure he'll rise to the challenge.
Welcome back. Seeing as this is a private party and I'm in an unusually generous mood, you'll be getting the VIP discount on your drinks tonight.
You mean they're not on the house?
Did you take a hit to the head in that fight? I'm in a good mood.
Excuse
Not
me.
insane.
You walked through the
Half
counter.
Take it or leave it.
Fair enough. Cheers.
That's more like it. Don't take it personally. You could be Odo. His drinks, 50% markup.
I wouldn't let him hear that.
Can I get you something?
Not the sort of kids.
Not much to tell, really. Lex saw the error of his ways and gave it back. Then I had Hur'q let Martok and Worf know we'd recovered their precious relic. A quick handoff later, and the Klingons were off to war. Rom and I tagged along, mainly to see the look on Odo's face when I rode in with the cavalry. That was priceless. If I die tomorrow, I'll go to the Exchequer with a smile on my face.
I'm sure. And you didn't make a profit on that job.
Who do you think you're talking to? Nog? Unlike the Federation, the Klingons know of the value of latinum. I'm thinking of spending my cut on a smaller moon to orbit the one I already have. I might even name it Odo.
You are living dangerously, Hur'q. Good luck.
Can I get you something?
I'm fine for now.
That was quite the battle. I knew my father and uncle were up to something, but I didn't think it involved leading the Klingon fleet to the fight. That said, we wouldn't have pulled this off without you. Glad you were here for this.
Likewise. What's next for you?
Starfleet's assigned the Chimera to peacekeeping duty in Hur'q space. We'll be working with the Joint Task Force to help the Hur'q get back on their feet again as well. There's a lot to be done, but we want to help them rejoin the galactic community.
That's quite the task.
It is, but my crew is up for the challenge. They're some of Starfleet's best. Take care of yourself out there. Don't be a stranger.
Same to you, Captain. Martok.
A hard-fought battle and a well-earned victory. And yet, we almost missed it. Our fleet would have never left the Empire if it weren't for the sword's return. Grilka tells me her former mate, Quark, had something to do with it. The sacred blade of Kahless, returned to the Empire by a Ferengi. Madness!
Her current mate played a part as well.
Yes, it was Worf's idea to ignite the beacon of Kahless. A bold move, but it paid off. Only a coward could refuse such a call to arms.
Indeed.
The legend of Kahless is stronger than ever. It would not surprise me if the High Council moved to create a new clone of the Emperor. There is great power in legend, after all.
True. Until next time, General. By the way, I think this is the only mentioning of the Beacon of Kahless outside of Star Trek Discovery. Because the Beacon of Kahless is the big thing you find that's in like the first couple episodes of Discovery. That is supposed to shine a light that extends across the galaxy. It's a very silly concept, but that's what it is. But I think this is the only time it's ever mentioned outside of Discovery. Is like, oh yeah, it is. Beacon of Kahless, it's technically still around. Kind of. This interesting little factoid. Nefpar, who is somebody we didn't really get to know in the Gamma Quadrant arc. Because technically the storyline actually began back in New Frontiers. And this character got introduced, I believe, in Melting Pot. But this whole storyline here leads into the Gamma Quadrant storyline. Because the Hur'q get introduced here in this arc, and then the actual battle against the Hur'q is in this storyline. So technically this is the resolution of two storylines here. Anyway, Nefpar.
I am forever indebted to you. Without your efforts, I would walk the path of exile for the rest of my days. Now, I will help make amends for all that has happened during Zencast's terrible crusade.
Make the most of this opportunity, Captain.
Interesting. There's a message from Garrick on my monitor here. Text only. He wants you to meet him at his old tailor shop. Maybe he's had enough of politics and wants to get back in the fashion game. Probably more profitable in the long run, and easier on the nerves.
That seems unlikely.
I wouldn't keep him waiting if I were you. He looks for secrets when he gets bored, and trust me, he's not the person you want poking around in your business.
Sounds like I should see what he wants. Howdy, Thomas. Thanks for dropping by on the stream, and thanks for the follow, also. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying. I'm gonna go find Mr. Garrick. His tailor shop is... oh, it's right here. We get some new threads. No.
Thank you for meeting me here. Strangely, I find it easy to center myself in this shop. Even relax.
Memories of a simpler life in your time.
Quite so. Cardassia is about to begin a new journey, as it were, and I'll be going along for the ride.
Sounds exciting.
Oh, it is. Cardassia has been offered membership in the Alliance, and we've accepted. Our seat at the table was hard-earned, but we're ready and grateful to join the ongoing efforts. Officer exchange programs have already begun. In fact, I suspect you'll be seeing more Cardassian faces in the future. I hope you show them the same courtesy as you've shown me in our shared adventures.
Of course. And where will you be during all this?
Oh, I'll be spending time on Earth, Kronos, and New Romulus. The life of an ambassador is never dull, after all. Someone needs to make sure the Alliance doesn't forget about Cardassia, and I suppose that someone is me. I'll be sure to follow your exploits, of course. They'll be far more entertaining than economic forecasts and state functions, to be sure.
Thanks, I think. And Kumarki. Kumarki's another character we got introduced actually before this. She gets first introduced in Future Proof, way back here. And she kind of becomes a character throughout New Frontiers and the Gamma Quadrant arc, so... We haven't really gotten to know Kumarki too much in this arc, but she does a lot more in the other two stored arcs before this one.
The conflict may be over, but there's still plenty of work to be done. The Lucari have offered to help the Hur'q restore their homeworld's ecosystem, and they've accepted. Dr. Bashir will be working with us on this. It's our goal to ensure that no Hur'q will go without nourishment again.
Yeah, he was acting a little sus there. What's this Romulan doing? He's just glaring at the empty wall. Anyway, an honorable goal.
Some time ago, I hoped for a path to peaceful resolution to our troubles with the Hur'q. I'm happy to be part of such a solution, at last. Thank you for your efforts in getting us all to this point. To peace.
You're welcome. Safe travels, Captain.
I believe our fearless leaders would like to have a word with you next.
I won't ask how you know that. I'll be seeing you. And our fierce leaders, I think, are like... yeah, they're right here. Okay. Our fierce leaders who do very little except give us missions to do. Actually, the only one I've really ever spoken to is, so far, is Jem'Hadar.
I have initiated a dialogue between the Dominion and the Karema. In light of recent events, I feel it is imperative that their conflict is resolved peacefully. Whether that results in an independent Karema or not remains to be seen, but I shall endeavor to help them reach a result that is beneficial for both parties.
It's going to be a challenge, Proconsul. Jem'Hadar is phased out of existence. Everybody's walking through, and people are walking through walls and jumping over things. People on DS9 are crazy.
There have been some significant diplomatic events since your return from the Gamma Quadrant. First, the Dominion is joining the Alliance. Having them as allies will take some getting used to, but the opportunity was too great to ignore.
Agreed.
As a condition to joining the Alliance, we requested that the Founders take steps to free the Jem'Hadar from their addiction to Ketracel White. I'm happy to say that Ambassador Odo is inclined to comply with that request. It will make things interesting in the Gamma Quadrant, to be sure. Still, it's been a long time coming. The Jem'Hadar should be able to live their lives freely.
It's a risk, but one worth taking. And you, Chancellor.
The Hover's cool sector has been designated as independent from the Dominion, and a Hur'q neutral zone has been established around it. The Empire will join the Federation and the Republic in keeping the peace between the Dominion and the Hur'q. We have experience in enforcing a neutral zone after all.
Now, it's like everybody on the station does not give a fuck about walking right through you. It's like you're not even there. Indeed.
Martok's use of the beacon and the return of the blade has led to a renewed interest in Kahless throughout the Empire. Some say that Martok stands with honor next to great heroes like Tukuvma, Vok, L'Rell, and Kang. As if getting along with a stubborn old Targ wasn't difficult enough, his ego will be larger than Mount Hamar at this rate. It is fortunate that Martok has little in the way of political aspirations. Otherwise, I may need to kill him. Again. Ha!
Both of you make the Empire stronger, Chancellor. First, the Ambassador and Dr. Bashir would like a word with you in sickbay when you have a moment. Understood. Head back that way.
Things are finally settling down around here. Well, as much as it ever settles down, that is.
You're still in uniform, Doctor.
Well, there's a lot to be done with the Hur'q, and being part of Starfleet will help me make things happen in that regard. When I'm not here, I'll be working with the Lucari and the crew of the USS Aventine to help the Hur'q get back on their feet.
Havas Kul's a long way from home for you.
Indeed, but I happen to be married to the captain of the Aventine, so it won't be, too bad. The kids won't be joining us until Kumake and her team restore Havas Kul to a more habitable state, however. I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. But until then, be safe out there. Doctor's orders.
By the way, I know it's probably not common knowledge, but Urzai Dax is the captain of the Aventine. And apparently, I think Bashir and her are married. It's kind of weird that Urzai Dax hasn't actually had a cameo in STO yet. You would think that would have happened by now, but nope, she doesn't show up in the game at all. She's just kind of mentioned by name a couple times.
The Dominion is about to go through a number of changes, liberating the Jem'Hadar from the White, phasing out the Founders' benevolent dictatorship, establishing a safe haven for the Hur'q. Needless to say, I'm going to be very busy for quite some time.
Not all of those changes will be popular.
No. There are still a number of Founders within the Great Link who will be very resistant to change. I'd like to think they're outnumbered by those willing to take a more democratic approach, however. The last thing anyone needs is a Dominion civil war.
Agreed.
Also, not all of the Hur'q were cured. We'll be dealing with rogue swarms for some time. I hope we can call on you in the future if we run into that special kind of trouble you have a talent for dealing with. Oh, and speaking of trouble, you might keep an eye on Quark. That little act of heroism with the Sword of Kahless will make him bolder than ever.
I'll do what I can, Constable. I'm technically not part of the station's staff, so I can't really keep an eye on him, but whatever.
First, our founder Odo has decreed that we will use our new knowledge to remove the Jem'Hadar dependency upon the Ketracel White. As soon as you leave, we will disseminate this information to your medical officers. You will still be able to benefit from the rush in battle, but you will no longer require Ketracel White for your survival. Glory to the Founders for their wisdom. You are free to depart from Deep Space Nine when you are ready.
Okay, cool. This is definitely a unique reward for finishing this arc. Because normally the Jem'Hadar characters I've noticed kind of need to have Ketracel White every now and then, otherwise they start looking very languished and fatigued after a while, and then you have to kind of recharge them again. But I guess this now prevents that from happening, so you don't have to constantly make sure you're taking Ketracel White for your character anymore, which it wasn't really that big of a deal, because I had plenty of it anyway, but I guess that's good to know.
This meeting is classified. It has come to my attention that you have been engaged in secret correspondence with the Elder First, Dukan Rex.
Oh, yeah.
With the passing of the Elder First, a great void has been created within your ranks. I do abhor a vacuum, and I believe it is your calling to fill that void. Continue your exemplary service. Honor the sacrifice of Dukan Rex. Let this victory enrich your life with the blessings of the Founders.
And that's the unique ending for the Victory's Life Arc for the Gamma recruit. We now become the replacement for Dukan.
The future of the Dominion is uncertain for the first time in many years. Without the Founder and her unbreakable will at the center of it all, the Gamma Quadrant will undoubtedly go through a great deal of turmoil. I'll do what I can to maintain order and keep the peace, but it's going to be challenging, to say the least. For now, what matters to me is that you fought for the Dominion when we needed it the most. I won't forget that. And thanks to the Great Link, neither will the Founders. Thank you. I hope we meet again under much better circumstances.
Oh yeah, it is very cool to watch. Normally I play through this scenario, it's like 95% the same if you use like a Federation or a Klingon character. It's just like Gamma Recruit, there's some additional scenes added in the Gamma Recruit and some new dialogue, so it's a little bit of a different experience going through with a Jem'Hadar character. Let's see, what am I going to get from rewards? Most of these are pretty good rewards. I'm probably just going to get the Phage Waveform Beacon, because it's kind of fun to summon a Hur'q swarm in battle.
Congratulations on our first.
Take that, and I got a bunch of junk. Get rid of this junk. Yeah, I still got Tetrion Pistol. And add this to my tray. It's right there. Alright, so Gamma Quadrant done. I do think it's one of the better story arcs in the game. Very much enjoy that. Improving accommodation, I think. Thank you. I can get another duty officer. Let's see. Oh, every ship needs a bartender. I'm gonna get a bartender. Gotta have a bartender. And you, not now. Get a few of some of this menial task done. No, I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to trade off my warp coils yet. I still got a little bit of time. Oh, thank you again. Oh, you're welcome, man. We got a little bit of time left here. I'll see. Maybe we can do. Can't do anything there. Maybe I'll do a few TFOs. I'm still working on TFOs. Execute competence. This is one of those missions. Well, it's not really a mission. It's a duty officer assignment that you get as a Klingon. If I just want to choose one of my duty officers to kill, like, I don't like this dude, Guitar, I can just kill him. I don't know why you would really ever want to do this, but you have the option. It's the same as dismissing them, but you kill them. Like, okay. You're incompetent. I'm gonna kill you. Because that's what we do in the Klingon Empire. In case it wasn't clear, my Jem'Hadar is allied with the Klingon Empire. That's why I get some of these Klingon missions. That's why I have a bunch of Klingons in my duty officer roster. You get a choice to ally with the Federation or the Klingons, and I went with the Klingons. Yeah, it made a little bit more sense in my head. And yeah, we'll do a few TFOs. We'll do a few TFOs here to round out the night. Get me some more reputation marks, and need to make sure we got time to do this before I get out. Need my mission rewards. Oh, okay.
Listen up. The war has not been going well for the Federation, and the Klingons are advancing to our position. We need to hold off their ships until reinforcements can...
Well, let me do the TFO first. This one's pretty easy. I've done this one a couple times already. Just have to kill a bunch of Klingon ships.
Here they come.
Well, my ship will get there eventually.
We're prepping for evac of non-essential personnel and civilians.
Yeah, the other players are doing a lot more than me, but it's okay. I don't mind. My ship is big and slow, but I have the power of space magic, so... Disseminate some bird of praise. Got two of them. I'll send more light. Yeah, big, slow, and magic. Let's turn out the light.
Reading some heavier ships incoming. Raiders and battle cruisers.
lasers! Laser beams everywhere! I just let most of my fighters do most of the work for me.
Klingons are regrouping again. Get into position to prepare for the next assault.
I'm in position. I can attack from most places on the map. I have funnels.
Here come the Klingon battleships. Keep fighting.
Come on. Turn.
The activation ship is launching. Give them cover.
Assimilate. Did I assimilate on you? No, I didn't. It's a massacre. The Klingon massacre. Yeah, I need some more bender trash. There we go. Oh, they're all dead now.
That'll hold them off. For now. I don't know how much longer we can keep up with this kind of war. Today was a good one. At least there will be a...
I didn't get that much, got 90. Oh yeah, I'm out of rep bonus, that's why. That's why I didn't get much out of that. So I gotta do my admiralty. Yep. Oh, I have past opens. Like, I'm so used to, like, skipping missions that I forget I have past tokens. Let's see. Honestly, if these things are like too obnoxiously high, I just skip them. It's just second nature now for me. So I just like to focus on these ones, the tour duties. I forgot, I got the bonus marks. That's right. That's why I do the randoms, because I get bonus marks. Let's see. 2 more competition marks. I get to take that. Refine the lithium. Don't forget to do that. Let's see. Let's see what this next match is. I need to do one of the Bozeman things to finish up that Android thing. Oh look, it's RS. Everybody's favorite Borg mission. Infected space. Now, depending on how powerful your allies are, this can go by very quickly, or it can drag on forever. I mean, I've already done this mission a few times with my setup here, and I do pretty much okay. Again, just let my fighters do most of the fighting for them.
Gun. Additional data is available.
Yeah. Killed already. Yep, they're dead already.
Shields and prepare to be boarded. The Netite probe can repair the transporters. Stop them!
Rain. Cannot blow up. Yo. Yeah, downside of dying is all my fighters disappear. There we go. Done. Like I said, I do like the Hur'q. I just wish, like, for its size, if it would just be, like, a little bit more beefy. That's the one downside. It's not as beefy as it looks. It's a big ship, but it does take a lot of damage. That marks. What should I get now? Discovery. Oh, yeah, I need to do one of the Bozeman things. I've only got one more to do for this. I'll do one night. The only problem with this is that this is a Borg mission. Actually, no, yeah, we'll do it. It'll be interesting. Borg missions you have to use are the ground Borg missions are kind of annoying because you have to use refrequencers.
Good, you made it. Wasn't looking forward to dealing with this by myself.
And you have to constantly be using them.
Our doing their job, and the bombings should happen soon. Once that's finished, we can get started. I brought some remodulators. Once you've equipped one, we can drop
remodulators. Right.
Okay, the bombing should end quickly thanks to the Enterprise. We're gonna need to move fast once things stop exploding. Don't forget to equip a frequency remodulator.
Yes, we have to do that. Otherwise, Seven will keep nagging me about it.
Right, let's get moving. We need to get to the complex quickly.
Modulators. They're annoying because they don't stack. And once I give them to my allies, they will like use them constantly. And after a while it gets annoying. Let's see, I'm gonna give you some shields. You don't get shield, you get booster. And I already have one on me. Alright. Let's go kill some Borg. Now there is one cheap way to get around fighting Borg.
So much for the bombing run. The Enterprise must have finished off the Borg.
Most Borg are really vulnerable to melee weapons. I have to settle for that.
After all this time, they still haven't learned. Resistance is inevitable.
Yeah, very good. There we go, they're doing that shit now. And the thing about the remodulation is you have to kind of stop what you're doing and remodulate. It just interrupts the flow of the fight. It's very, very annoying.
Complex took some hits. Let's check for survivors.
In case you can't tell, this is supposed to be taking place during the events of Star Trek First Contact in Bozeman, Montana.
I'm not picking up any Borg life signs in the complex. Cardin's people should be here now. Let's make sure before we move on.
To be honest, I've always wanted to walk into the middle of the town and see what would happen. Does anything happen? No? Hello, I'm a Jem'Hadar. You've never seen me before. I'm the first alien you've ever met. I got here before the Vulcan. Would our Borg have already killed people? No. Way to mess up the timeline. Was that a Vulcan? Oh. Ladies, like, pointing. Over there! Nothing over there. Okay. Apparently they're cool seeing a squad of Jem'Hadar in the middle of Bozeman, Montana.
Okay, my tricorder's picking up multiple subspace comm signals in the area.
Enterprise away team?
Some of them are Starfleet, but they're coming from inside the missile silo. Probably protecting Zephyr Cochrane. The rest of the signals are coming from the southwest. Any guesses as to the source?
Borg.
Got it in one. Looks like they managed to send down a few landing parties before their ship blew up. Chances are they're here to make our lives difficult. I think it's time we return the favor.
Yep. Why is there a pole on for... No, I don't... Oh, wait, which way am I going? This way. No, not that way. Wrong way. This way. Here's a... Hold on a second. Ah. Excuse me for a minute, I really had to clear my throat there. Okay. You know what, I'm probably just gonna stick to hacking the Borg up.
Your defenses are insufficient. You will be assimilated.
It's a little more fun to fight him this way. Just chop them up.
There are lights over there. Looks like a camp of some kind. Borg will be drawn to it like moths to a flame. We need to protect the locals. Picking up life signs ahead. Some of them are Borg.
What do you want? Get away from us!
Let me target the explosive barrels.
What the hell are those?
That always happens when I do this mission.
Zombies? Robot zombies?
Robot zombies, yeah.
That's what happened. Take out those drones.
I will say the melee combat in this game is very weird. You have to kind of find a trick for doing it. And most of the time your character will try to auto-run to the enemy and then hit him. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. It's a little glitchy sometimes.
We're gonna need to do a memory wipe on the locals. They can't remember the Borg. Setting your tricorder to emit a neurolytic pulse should work.
You're staring into the flashing light. Your memory is now wiped.
Looks like the Borg have changed their tactics. They're avoiding Cochrane and the Enterprise crew and focusing on assimilating the locals. Makes sense. After they lost their ship, they lost their numerical advantage.
It's in our best interest to keep it that way.
No argument here. I ran a quick scan of these drones. There's several references in their onboard nav systems to a location.
I'm sorry, did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
Looks like the Borg have changed their tactics. They're avoiding Cochrane and the Enterprise crew and focusing on assimilating the locals. No argument here. I ran a quick scan of these drones. There's several references in their onboard nav systems to a location north of here. Designation Resource Node 01. We should check this out. Whatever they're up to isn't a good thing.
Let's go.
This area's clear. Picking up Borg signals to the north, though. Apparently, Resource Node 01 is a garbage dump. So I was wondering. There must be something of tactical value here. Let's make sure they don't find it.
I mean, who would have thunk of that the Borg are pretty weak against swords? Yes, the mighty Borg defeated by a sword. Just hacking the pieces.
It smells and it's swarming with drones. Take them down.
And it's full of explosive barrels.
Figure out what they were looking for here. Power amplifiers. Copper tubing. And lithium batteries. Oh, hell.
They're making a smartphone.
And it's not good.
Is it ever?
Fair point. I think they're trying to build a transporter. They might have lost their ship, but there's a lot of Borg still in Enterprise. If they can beam those drones down here, the situation will go from bad to worse.
Indeed. Recommendations?
Complex isn't far. Let's make sure it's secure and then work on finding and dealing with this bootleg transporter.
Agreed. Move out. Team this way.
Sign of the Borg. Run a scan, make sure Picard's team is all accounted for.
Oh, I'll probably get copyright claim for that. That song there. I need to talk about. Technically, this is where Deanna Troi and I think what's his name, Cochrane. If you hang around here, you'll start to hear them talking.
Picking up Starfleet comm badges inside the bar and hold on.
Oh, never mind. Borg.
Inbound, but they're on Borg drones.
I gotta kill some more Borg.
Turn off my music.
Will Riker? Is that from Cochrane?
A friend of yours?
Yes.
Husband?
No.
Yep.
Now this,
Deanna.
This is the good stuff.
It's good stuff.
To the Phoenix. May she rest in peace.
Let me in.
Okay. That wasn't so good.
Well, I think we have to tell him the truth.
If we tell the truth, the timeline...
Timeline! This is no time to argue about time. We don't have the time.
You don't have the time.
What was I saying?
You're drunk.
I am not.
You are.
Deanna's drunk. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Okay, perimeter's clear. I'm thinking that transmission tower's our next stop.
Lots of Borg. Yep, a little bit of poison took care of most of them. Borg are not immune to poison. Technically it's radiation, but it's a poison effect. Big boom.
Get me to the first array and I'll start disabling their transporter.
Yeah, it's right here. In the fire.
This won't take long. Using a simple modulating cipher.
You guys
Alright,
got
this one's done. Let's go.
More explosions.
They're onto us. Security protocols just spiked, and not in a good way.
Yeah. Forward.
Two down. That last one's gonna be rich.
Not cocktail asleep.
Only one left. Stay with me. We can do this.
We have analyzed your tactics. We have adapted. We are worthy.
We're exploded. Oh, why is my thing not on? No, stop.
Fractal self-replicating security.
Stop. Stop. No, stop trying to attack. You get stuck in auto attack in the least sometimes, and it just messes you up. They'll keep trying to run towards the enemy even if they can't get there.
Got it. The transporter's out of commission. I think we're through the worst of it.
Hey, we're done.
Picking up any Borg activity in the area. Nice work.
I will take... I should probably take some Dyson monks. And temporal crisis.
Over as far as you're concerned. I'll deal with all this Borg tech lying around. It's a mess, but my nanites will make short work of it. As for you, feel free to return to the present. Break, have a drink.
Edge.
You've definitely earned it.
Thank you. Let me fix my laptop. I can't see chat if my laptop turned off. Why I couldn't get the screen to wake up. Okay, so now I should have enough to get the Android now. Lord, claim.
Congratulations, Honored First.
Vessel Requisition Pack, Combat Synth Android. Oh, I got a couple other things too. From that. I got Phoenix Shuttle Hollow Emitter. Alter your ship appearance using holograph technology. Okay. And launch a toy rocket. Ground device. Oh, okay, I've seen this before. Do I... Oh, okay, I can probably do it from inventory. Okay. And let's see. Combat Android. Oh yeah, that's what happened. Windows wanted to update. That's what happens. That's why my laptop blinked out. Windows update. Thanks, Windows. Oh, let me open this thing up. Synth Android. I gotta wait for Windows Update to finish on this thing. I'm sorry, chat, I can't see you right now. Don't know if anybody's saying anything. Let's see, Synth Android. I'm gonna equip it to myself and see what it's like here. I can reclaim this on my other characters too, so it's nice to have that. It'll be another pet summon. I've seen other people using it already. Or people that have kind of bought out the event. Let me find like a ground mission that I can... Oh, I know. I can go to Nukara. Let me go to Nukara. I can go on the ground there. Hold on. Yep. Top. Wait. Up. Yes, I know Chrome didn't shut down properly. Let me back to my dashboard. Alright, there we go, I'm back. Alright, I'm gonna go to Nukara and try out the new things I got. And then that'll probably be it for tonight. Now, as I said before, I wasn't gonna do like a full playthrough stream with this character, mainly just the Gamma Quadrant stuff. I might bring the character back every now and then in the stream. Like I had mentioned before, probably at the start of this year, I am currently waiting on a Delta recruit before I do like a full playthrough on stream for this game. I just did the Delta recruit because it was started up right now. I just thought something weird was going on with my thing. But I might bring the character back every now and then. For some special events or something like that. Or I might stream every now and then doing TFOs or whatnot. Anyway, let's see. Auto rocket. And it's gone. Never coming back. Easiest mission to do on new car is this one, the scientific sabotage. We'll do that. And let's summon our... Can I summon android friend? Android friend. Can I summon android friend? No? We have to be in combat. Combat. Oh, I have my sword, that's fine. Oh, I can't summon him down here. That sucks. Well. Nobody told me that in the fine print. That I couldn't summon my android friend to a hostile environment. I'm just gonna assume pets are not allowed down here, that's probably what it is. Like just behind somebody, because all the Tholians are cleared out ahead of me. Except for this one. This one's always here. I think people forget that there's one over here. It's kind of tucked away in the corner. Then cross the bridge, go back. Kill the Tholians. Kill this one. Is that a character? They don't have a suit on. I don't know about that. And gone. And that's the easy way to get new car marks. Do that. Alright, I need to find a place where I can try out the android. Is there like a simple mission I can do? Well, none of the missions are simple. Yeah. If I can just... You know what, maybe I can summon him on... And just end it where I began here on Drozana. Welcome to Drozana.
Welcome to Drozana.
android friend. And my very own personal murder bot. Come here, murder bot. Soulless killing machine. Alright. Alright, that's gonna be it for tonight. My 3-hour mark. Productive stream. Everybody, thanks for watching. Very much enjoy having viewers and new followers on the channel here. Let's see, I'll probably be streaming something new soon. Haven't really decided yet exactly what it's going to be. This won't be the last of Star Trek Online streams. I'm going to do some more every now and then. I don't know exactly what I got planned next year, but like I said, whenever Delta Recruit happens, then there'll be the full, proper stream will be happening, so. But this is kind of going to be it generally for the Gamma storyline for now, so. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.